Hey, you guys, welcome back to the channel. My name is Brad. This is the Firefighter's Financial Toolbox. As you guys know, I'm about 3 years from retirement, and I found an article. Now, this is a couple years old, but I still think it rings true. It's called Gen X Anxiety Grows as Retirement Nears. Now, as I said, this rings true to me because I am a Gen Xer. Gen Xers basically were born between 1965 1980. So we're all in the 55 to as young as maybe 40 some right now. Anyway, let's get into it. As far as finances goes, Rose Cronin is in better shape than most Americans her age. The 40-year-old has been socking away money into a retirement plan since she got her first job out of college. An insurance quality evaluator from New York's Long Island, Cronin also has 2 pensions, one from a former company. Her husband Bill also has a pension from his teaching job. Like them, you guys, I will have a small pension from the fire department as well. They've always had an emergency fund, and they set up college savings for their kids, ages 5 and 7, soon after they were born. We're more prepared than most, she said. Still, she's worried about their retirement. I know we're going to have to set aside more, or we won't have enough, and that makes me nervous. You guys, she's right to be nervous because we don't know what's going to happen in the future, right? None of us do. That's an increasingly common concern among members of the Generation X as they edge closer to their 50s. I'm right in that group, you guys, early 50s. Much of the research on retirement readiness has focused on baby boomers who are already turning 65 at a rate of about 10,000 a day and seem woefully ill-prepared as the groups go. The GAO analysis released this week that found that among households with members age 55 or older, nearly 29% have no retirement savings or a pension plan. You guys, no retirement savings. And they're 55 and in some cases in their 60s with nothing saved. But in a new multi-generation survey by Northwestern Mutual, Gen X respondents reported the highest level of financial insecurity of the 4 generations. That's kind of depressing to think that we're the worst. Let's see what else it says here. All right. Their number one concerns, having enough savings to retire comfortably. 2/3 say they expect to have to work past the traditional retirement age out of necessity, and 18% believe they will never retire. So basically, they've thrown the towel in. They're like, I'm not going to make it. I'll have to work forever. There's an increasing shifting of financial responsibility onto individuals' shoulders, obviously, because Gen X is really the first generation that had no pensions. You guys, we were the start of the 401k defined contribution plan as opposed to the defined payment plan, right? And without some major changes, advisors said it could be painful. Gen X, which includes those born between 1965 and 1980, is the first generation to experience a shift from traditional pension plans to 401ks and IRAs, like we were just talking about. They'll hit retirement age just as Social Security's trust fund is projected to run dry around 2033. So not only do we not have any money saved, we don't know what's going to happen with Social Security, right? It might run out of money, and we might not have that either. All right. Their studies say they don't expect Social Security to take care of their needs. It used to be, keep your nose down and keep working, you'll be taken care of. That's not the case anymore. For Gen X, it shifted to keep working hard, but it's on you to take your retirement because it's not a responsibility to take care of you anymore. Having the discipline and foresight to set money aside throughout your careers is challenging enough, but with longer lifespans and growing healthcare expenses, even estimating how much you'll need for your retirement can be a challenge. It's true, you guys. Inflation may go up 3%, but some years healthcare goes up 10%. So if you're upping how much you're withdrawing by 3%, it might be enough for some living expenses, but might not keep up with what your healthcare costs are. There are general benchmarks to guide them, but most savers are falling short. Study from the Boston College estimates it takes about 70% of your pre-retirement income to maintain your lifestyle. And I've read as much as 80, you guys, depending on who you talk to. Under current laws, Social Security can replace about 36% of a retiree's final adjusted earnings. In order to make up a difference, the center estimates you need to set aside about 15% of your pay over the course of 30 years. So those poor people out there that are in their 50s and 60s that don't have any saved, it's going to be a hard road for them. For them, it could be particularly challenging. Oh, but only 12% of Gen Xers are putting away 15%. Nearly 4 in 10 were putting aside 5% or less. So they were getting the match, and that's it, you guys. For them, it could be particularly challenging to catch up. The Center for Retirement Research estimates that those who start saving at 45 and hope to retire at 65 will need a whopping 27% of their income saved per year. And that drops to 10%, though, if they put off retirement until they're 70. So they're saying you might make it at 65, but you got a better shot at 70. That may be more realistic for many Gen Xers, as they're often facing more immediate financial needs. Many are just not taking care of themselves, but children and sometimes aging parents as well. And they tend to carry more debt than other generations, in particular student loan balances. Those in their 30s and 40s have the highest average student loan debt among borrowers from the Federal Reserve. Well, obviously, what did our parents tell us when we were Gen Xers, right? Go to college. You got to go to college or you'll never get a good job. Unfortunately, college costs just keep going up and up and up. And people are coming out with, upwards of $250,000 of student loan debt. And just paying that down is a life chore. All right, aside from weathering a number of economic cycles, this group is juggling home mortgages, educational debt, and lifestyle needs. Figuring out how to plan for the future. AARP found that Gen Xers are even more nervous than their predecessors about funding their retirements. More than 6 in 10 said they're somewhat or very anxious about having enough money. What about you guys? Do you feel like you have saved enough money? I feel like I'm going to have to be smart about my savings, but my wife and I have been very smart, and we've been saving a lot for retirement because we plan to go, for me, at 55. And so to keep up with our plan, we have put the time in and put the money away. But as we said, 29% haven't got anything saved, you guys. That's a scary fact. How are you guys doing? Are you going to be prepared to retire when you want to, whether it's early or at 65? Or are you one of those people who hasn't? Let me know in the comments. I really would like to know. You guys, if you have a question about this, or if you have ideas for other retirement-related videos or other financial videos, put them in the comments. I try to answer all comments. All right, you guys, I hope you got something out of this video. If you did, do me a favor. Just drop me that like. It takes 2 seconds, and it really helps get my videos out to more people. If you're not already subscribed, you know the deal. Hit the red button, ring the bell. You get notified every time I make a new video. All right, we'll see you. Thanks a lot.